In this tutorial, we'll learn how to create and use TrendTimer fund lists. A TrendTimer fund list, as the name suggests, is a list of funds used by the TrendTimer application. Fund lists may contain any combination of stocks, bond funds, ETFs, or mutual funds. For example, you may want to create a list of banking stocks or your favorite internet stocks. In the TrendTimer application, the fund lists are displayed on a panel on the right side of the screen. At the top there's a drop-down showing you the available lists. TrendTimer comes preloaded with a number of different lists as shown here. Let's choose the S&P 100 companies. When I make a choice from the drop-down, the list is displayed below. You can also notice there's a center column here that contains a time period, and this shows you the performance of each of these stocks during that time period. And above that there's a drop-down, and there's 4 time periods available. So there's 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, and 3 years. So let's look at the 3-year performance for the S&P 100 companies. When I choose 3 year from the drop-down, the column here changes to 3 years. And if I wanted to find the top performing company, I can click to sort this column. So it looks like in the last 3 years, Gilead Sciences was the top performing stock in this list. After choosing a fund list, we can add any of the stocks in that fund list to our strategy by clicking on the green plus sign next to each item. So let's add Gilead Sciences to our strategy. You can see when I click the plus symbol for Gilead that Gilead showed up as fund number 3 here. And you can see that Gilead is now owned during the blue sections of the graph here. Let's add another stock. How about Starbucks? So we've added Starbucks. Starbucks is now in the Fund 4 position. And finally, let's add eBay. So the plus symbol, as you can see, is what you use to add funds to the current strategy. Now, if we want to replace one of the existing funds, we can first push the button for the fund we want to replace. So in this case, I've selected the button for eBay, which is in the Fund 5 position, and it's been highlighted with a green border. Now let's replace it with Amgen. Instead of clicking the green plus button, I click the link. When you click the link, it replaces the item that's been highlighted. So you can see the replacement was made. So that's how to use fund lists. Next, let's create a new fund list. And to do this, we visit the Funds screen. As you can see, there's a drop-down on the right here that contains a list of existing fund lists. But we're going to add a new fund list, and so to do that, we click the green plus button here. Let's give our fund list a name. Let's just call it New Fund List. So now we have an empty fund list, and we can start adding stocks and funds. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see some drop-downs, and there's also a search field. So if we want to search for companies, we can start typing. So let's type Coca-Cola. So we've got Coca-Cola here, and we can select and add to list. And you see it appears on the right. How about McDonald's? We can select McDonald's and add that to the list. Now there's also a add fund field here on the right, and you can just type the symbol of the stocks you'd like to add. So let's add Cisco, Microsoft, Starbucks, and you can see the items that are added. On the left there's also some drop-downs, and these drop-downs can display various lists of stocks and funds. So here we have a drop-down for the S&P 500 stocks. So we can choose healthcare from this list, and it'll display the list of healthcare related stocks in the S&P 500. And so if we want to add these to the list, we can select them. So let's add Abbott Labs. How about Biogen, Bristol Myers Squibb? You can select as many of these as you want, and then after doing so you can click the Add Selected button here, And it's going to download some historical data here for some of these stocks, and then it will add them to the list as shown on the right. So that's pretty much all there is to it, creating a new fund list. After we've created the fund list, it will then be available to the application. So if we go back to the testing screen and we look at the drop down, we can see that our new fund list that we added is shown here at the bottom. I can select that list and see all the stocks that we added. So if we wanted to add McDonald's to our strategy, we can click the plus symbol. If we wanted to replace Amgen with Microsoft, we first highlight it and then click on the link for MSFT Microsoft. Okay, that is all you need to know about creating fund lists. Thanks for watching.